We got USC's finest, Clay Owens here, infielder, played some catcher as well, going up through the ranks. So, Clay, thanks for joining us, man. Your bat leadoff here.
How's it going?
Good, man. We're hanging in there. So, what are you doing right now to try to stay in shape, keep getting those reps? I know we talked earlier saying you're going to get some live ABs, which is good. But what are you doing? Because unfortunately, we have no Cape season, but you still got a job to do for your team.
Being at USC, we do have we have a lot of people that really help us out, whether that's compliance or our nutritionists and stuff like that. So they're constantly sending us different proteins and stuff that we need. Just recently, our head trainer, Josh, he hooked us up with this app where he created workouts for us to do. So basically, I've been doing that. I have a cage in my backyard, so I'm able to hit with that. And then I've also been going to a little facility to primarily lift like more of like free weights and stuff like that. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to do some of those things. I know a lot of guys have it a lot harder.
Yeah.
But just for me, it's been pretty easy to stay in shape and do what I need to do.
Yeah, I see. But both of us have the little bit of stubble here on the.
I know, man. This is the only thing I can grow. Don't get too excited.
Your 2020 season, you get a new head coach in Coach Gill. In February of 2020, you said, standards have been set here. It's our responsibility to bring them back. And of course, USC, you probably know the history. I mean, the most chips of any D1 program or any program. So
yeah,
what did he bring to the season for 2020, before everything got canceled, that you guys felt like you were ready to go, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say one of the biggest things he brought was trust. A lot of the guys before, like, you really do need a good team chemistry when playing college baseball because it takes everybody to get there. And I think what Gil did really well was sit down and talk to us and set those goals for us. And then not only just set the goals, but tell us how to get there, what we need to do, how we need to do it. I mean, it just like was kind of like a respect thing with him. We just like primarily would only talk to him about what needs to be done rather than what we've already done. So the biggest thing with him was he really got guys to buy in and believe in the process. So it was really easy once season started because everybody was for once on the same page together.
Talking about Coach Gill here, he also had a quote that said, "When I think Clay can roll out of bed and hit. The guy could literally 10 minutes after waking up, see 95 and hit." Do you agree with him? I'm sure you do.
Oh, I mean, for me, it's more of just like a mentality thing where, I mean, you got to be a savage in the box.
Quote the great Ed.
I mean, he actually said that before he really saw me play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, he went to LMU. We played at LMU before, so like, it's not like I was just his ghost character to him. He knows who I am. But no, yeah, I mean, hitting's my thing. I don't want to say I think anybody is better than me at it, but I mean, I do feel like I can wake up and just throw the ball out there and it'll get hit somewhere. But no, yeah, it does make you feel good, especially when it's a new coach and you're trying to make a good first impression, stuff like that. I guess it just really helps you out, but then it also puts pressure on you because I was like, all right, well, if I see 95, I better hit it,
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, but it was a good feeling,
yeah. Yeah, some fall ball action, right? And he put you at first. So, I mean, obviously you had the familiarity. He was at LMU the year before and many years before, so he saw you as a freshman. So did you think that helps you? You had a little bit of inside track, or was it just, hey, I'm hitting the ball really well in practice, so I'm going to make coach put me in the lineup?
Well, freshman year, I originally committed to USC as a third baseman. Mm-hmm. And then, like, towards my junior and senior year of high school, I was a catcher. And then when I came to college, I didn't really know what I was going to do. And they kind of just threw me at third, first, a little bit of outfield. Mm-hmm. And then I found my way into the lineup my freshman year at first base. So I played all year there, and then after that, it was just kind of set in stone that I was going to play first base this year.
Mhm.
Uh, so there wasn't too much of a conversation about that. It was just kind of like, at least when I got to college, I just didn't want to play. I didn't care if I was a pitcher
Yeah.
or if I was playing right field or wherever. You just want to play. Um, so, I mean, I just found my way at first base, and I realized that's the best opportunity I have to play. So that's just kind of how I ended up.
Best chance to rake, right? I mean,
I
we're looking
know.
at your freshman year. You led your team as a freshman with a 348 average during conference play. So
Yeah.
once the big game started going, you started heating up. And you're a left-hand hitter, which always helps. You got the platoon advantage a lot of the time. So what was it like? I mean, you get to campus as a freshman. There is some fall action. You got to make it known that you can play because not a lot of guys, especially at a school like USC, can start at freshman year at a key power position at first. So I
Yeah.
guess talk to me a little bit about you impressing coaches and players and getting that spot at first, even as a freshman.
I mean, well, one thing's for sure is it didn't really come as easy as I wanted it to.
Hmm.
We started off fall, and I was hitting pretty good in fall, so I knew I was giving myself a shot there. Defensively, I wasn't really where I needed to be, so that was like kind of my main focus.
Hmm.
And then I actually did get the start on opening night at DH. So after I like got that experience, I was like, this is the sickest thing ever. You know, it's
Yeah.
opening night, everybody's out, it's LA, it's USC. So that was like really fun for me. But I actually started off the year like 0 for 16, 0 for 17. It was pretty bad. I mean, it wasn't like the worst at bats in the world, but I just would like hit the ball right at dudes and stuff like that. And then I started sitting, and I would maybe get a pinch at that bat in like the eighth inning when it's like 40 degrees outside. So that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
And then finally, we're about to go in and play ASU on the weekend. And we hadn't really been playing well as a team. And our coach at the time was like, oh, we're going to enter squad today. Whoever has a good day, like, you're going to get an opportunity this weekend. So I was like, well, I better ball out because I'm done. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
watch you guys play anymore. Like, I'm ready to go. I remember I went 2 for 2 in that with a home run, and then I got the start against Arizona State, and then ever since then, I just never looked back. I just took off. I remember I had my first home run that weekend. It was just like a huge explosion from what I was doing before. And then it also put that fear in me that like if I don't perform, then I may never get to play. And I think what was good for me was sitting because I never really had to deal with that. And then, but also I paid attention when I was sitting. I watched how the speed of the game was. So I was just taking my mental notes, and that way, when I got out there, I knew what he was going to throw, when he was going to throw it, how he was going to throw it, what my coaches are looking for on the base pass, stuff like that. And then it ended up being an all Pac 12 freshman,
Yeah.
which was awesome. Um, and I mean, I guess that's really my story about my freshman year.
Yeah. And hey, I mean, Mark Teixeira started his major league career. I was looking for it. What, you had what, 0 for 16, 17? He
Yeah,
had like in the 20s. And I remember
yeah.
he was like, man, every time I went up there, I felt the pressure. And you mentioned it that maybe sitting helped you out a little bit. What about that? Because I know there's a big thing when you jump up to the different levels, the speed of the game. And you even said that. So what did you see? What helped you specifically when sitting that you said, okay, I can put this into the game? Is it maybe looking at different pitches? Is it, select?
Um, for me, it wasn't so much that I thought that they were better than me, because I never thought that they were better. It was just more of the fact that I needed a little bit more like mental strength and understanding of how college works. Um, so like I would be sitting and we played like UCLA or we played Arkansas, like, especially when we played the top teams. I was really paying attention because those are some of the top dudes in the nation. But that's what really like I think helped me was I would match myself with either guys on my team that I think hit like me or guys on the other team that do, and I would just watch how they handle like their at bats and stuff like that. And then I kind of just like got to a place where I just wanted to play because I was tired of sitting on the bench and like nobody cares about a dude that sits on the bench. Like everybody wants to talk about the guy that played. Um,
Mhm.
so I just kind of got tired of it. And then when I got in there, it was like, okay, don't go back to the bench now. Like it's not fun over there. It gets cold.
You're a California kid through and through. I mean, with your college decision, and then you're from Corona, California,
Yeah.
same place as head coach Kelly Nicholson here for the Firebirds.
Um,
Dodgers fan, Angels fan. What was it like growing up there in Cal?
I mean, I used to always go to the Angels games, but I mean, they haven't been too good.
Yeah.
So I've always grown up like a Yankee fan. And then once I kind of got out to LA, it kind of more became like the Dodgers.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I mean, I would say the Yankees still. I mean, that was my team growing up. So
Yeah, I can't blame you. '09, pretty strong
yeah.
memories from that.
Yeah.
Any players that influenced you, maybe from the area? I know you played earlier this year in the Tony Gwynn game. You hit a home run, and that. So maybe how big is Tony there? February 21st, 2020, you guys win 6-2 over Seattle. You get a
Mhm.
three-run homer. Was there any added significance to that game? You know, of course, Tony Gwynn is a huge presence there in Southern Cal.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Gwynn is Tony Gwynn. He's probably one of the best or greatest left-handed hitters of all time. Honestly, for me, I wasn't going in there thinking like, oh, I got to do something for Tony,
Yeah.
just because I'm more like team. But I mean, yeah, it is a big event. There's a lot of people there. Obviously, it's his field, where he comes from, where he went to school, where he coached, his city practically. So, I mean, it does feel good when you do something good in like an event like that when it's for someone else.
Yeah.
Um, so it was kind of like a big deal when you're like hitting it over his like head, like because it's like his banner on the wall, you know.
Yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, I mean it was an awesome experience. That was my first time playing at San Diego State.
Hmm. And to go on a little more about your 2020, I mean, you had a great freshman year. You
Yeah,
overcome the slow start, but in 2020, you hit just as many home runs in less than half the at bats. You had 3 home runs and 109 at bats freshman year, three home
yeah.
runs and only 52 at bats last year, and you have one more RBI in 2020 than 2019, just for good measure. So, I guess how did you, of course, there's going to be improvement freshman to sophomore year, but what was it like? Anything you worked on in the off season to get yourself that jump? What'd you do between freshman and sophomore year?
I was in Michigan with the Kalamazoo Growlers, so I was there all summer, and I mean we got to play every day. I'm not gonna say it was the most fun I've ever had,
Yeah.
but um,
Oh yeah, it's a
for
grind.
me, it's not so much that I tried to change anything. It was just once I realized how to be successful as a freshman, it made it so much easier for me to figure out how to do it even better as a sophomore. So I think realistically for me as a freshman compared to a sophomore was I didn't figure out how to be successful until halfway through the year.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know how to be successful all of sophomore year. So it is frustrating because like I wanted to have a 10 home run season. I wanted to hit 350. That's where my mind was at. And um, what just sucks is I already had my stats from last year. My stats for last year were supposed to be pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
but I just like it sucks because I feel like I had so much more to give, where it could have been like a great season, but now we'll like never really know.
What led you to the Cape besides the numbers? Besides the production, was the Nicholson connection there? Did you, of course, he's got the LMU connection also. So with
Mhm.
Hubs, your coach from freshman year, what was it
Um,
like getting yourself over to the Cape?
well, obviously he's from Corona. Um, he went to the same high school my dad went to. I mean, they weren't buddies or anything, but I mean, Corona High is one of the top high schools every year for D1. But it was actually through a family friend. His name's Marty Wilkerson. His dad was a longtime head coach over at Corona, and then the field's named after him now, stuff like that. So they have a huge legacy over there. I've always kept a good relationship with Marty because he coached my dad, and I'll still go up there and hit with him at his house. But basically, him and Kelly have been buddies. And then, so originally I kind of got hooked up with him like last year, I guess. He texted Marty halfway through like summer and was like, "Hey, I need another guy. Like, what's up with Owens?" But I was already in Michigan, so I didn't go.
Mhm.
And then now I hear from talking to Kelly that he's great buddies with Gil. So, I mean, it was just inevitable that I was going to end up there. I had, I mean, one, I can play. Two, there's Marty, and then three, there's Jason Gill. So I had plenty of opportunities to go play there. So for me, it was just like a given that I was going to go play for the Firebirds. So obviously, it's the legacy of the Cape Cod and
Yeah.
everything that gets talked about in that department. But yeah, I was ready. So it kind of sucks that it got blown up, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. That's what they say. Where were you? The Cape Cod League. They write movies about it. You got Summer Catch. It's such a historic part. And now you and me both. We're not getting a chance to go there this summer. But what were you most excited about besides just the whole esteem? Was you're gonna meet a bunch of new teammates, players. What were you really pumped up about? Once your season ended at USC, where you go, okay, let me go out to the Cape and keep hitting baseball.
I guess what I was most excited about was to compete because those guys are supposed to be the best of the best, and I think I am one of the best. So I would just
Oh, yeah.
like really like to go head to head with a couple of those guys, um, just because I mean it's not like I get to see everybody in college. You just hear about them.
Hmm.
So for me, going to the Cape and playing against them and not saying like I can only do this in California. I can come over to the East Coast and still hit you. Um, so that's what I was most excited for. I mean, obviously it's a great area and stuff, but I just wanted to face the best, go against the best, and uh, be successful against them.